Hi everyone, day 60 something. I should have this closer so you can hear me because my air conditioner is on right now. How's that? Is that better? Okay, today's topic, friendship. It's been a really long week. It's Sunday and I've been on my own this week. Barb's been stopping by in the morning to help get things started on our way to work for a little while. And you know, my son's been working and it's you know, slowly getting back to normal. And then I guess realizing that getting back to normal was causing a lot of pain, physical pain for me, which is why I've been back on the gabapentin and on the Motrin. Tonight is actually my last night being on the Motrin, so I'm not super thrilled about that. I don't want to assume anything. I'll still be on the gabapentin for another week. And then I guess I'll call the nurse and tell her how I'm feeling. Because the pain, like the shooting pains I was having in my boobs significantly goes away with the gabapentin. Honestly, I haven't even read the drug information on it. I know it's an anti-seizure medication, but it's meant for nerve pain, like when people have surgery and stuff too. But I was really, really tired today. I went for a walk this morning with a friend of mine, and she helped me see too how I was overdoing and not realizing. I'm like so sick of doing the same loop in my apartment complex. So I'm like, you know, why don't we try going a different direction? And I made the rebellious decision this morning of putting on a moisture wicking crew neck t-shirt. I'm such a badass. I put on a crew neck t-shirt because the last time, well, it's not a t-shirt, it's moisture wicking, like for workout stuff. But it's crew neck and there's no buttons. And the last time I went walking with a friend, I wore a V-neck shirt because like all my clothes are V-necks. And I got sunburnt and I'm like, I don't want to get sunburnt. So I'm going to wear a crew neck and I'll figure out how to get it on and off. So the moisture wicking one, at least it has a little bit of give that you can pull at it. So I got it over one sleeve. I got it over the other. I put my head down in the crash position. You got the shirt over my head. So I didn't get sunburnt. But then realized a good several hours later, like, how the hell am I supposed to take this thing off of me? And my son's the only one home. And I'm like, it's kind of weird for him to take his mom's shirt off. I forgot that Barb was coming by today. It's Sunday. She's gonna come by for a little while just to take care of stuff like the laundry that's running in there right now. And I needed help today. Like my son's been working and he's had homework, and then we've been working on college stuff today. There's so much to do, like junior year and senior year with kids as they're getting ready to like leave high school and you know, apply to college or whatever they're doing. It's a lot. And I've been really tired. The gabapentin works really well with the nerve pain, but it makes you really, really, really tired. I don't even think I brushed my teeth today. But I have to say that's probably the first time in a really long time that I've gone however many hours it's been since I've been awake. It's nighttime now without brushing my teeth. I don't think I brushed my teeth. I don't even remember. Anyway, so I went walking this morning and I didn't want to walk far. I just wanted to walk in a different direction and was very quickly made aware as to the slopes that are in the parking lot where I live, that normally I wouldn't think twice about it. But the first one was like a little bit downhill, and then I realized that the next one was going uphill, and that uphill is it's not super steep, but like for the condition that I'm in is not an easy uphill. So the one I was walking with was like, well, you know, if you want to stop, we can stop. I'm like, yeah, I want to stop. And I'm still not in a place where I can, you know, my body's telling me that because I'm huffing and puffing, but I'm not stopping. So looping to the friendship thing, I'm glad that I have friends that will notice things about me like that I am huffing, and just speak up and say, like, we're not gonna walk up that little hill. Like, why don't we just go back this way? Which seems like it's minor, but it's nurturing, and it's like so needed. And as much as I've made comments about like people that haven't shown up during this whole thing, I haven't really given enough. Like, I'm not gonna go through an individual personal shout out, because most people don't want that. Because I said, like, how can I thank you? How can I thank you for the people that have done stuff for me? And that's really what I want to focus on today, is just the people that have stepped up, and what they're doing, and how that makes me feel. And anyway, we walked back, we were talking for a little bit, and she could just sense, like, I was exhausted, and I'm like, I still have to make it up my stairs, but I felt comfortable enough to ask her, like, I haven't driven obviously since this whole thing happened, and something dumb, like, I was running low on toilet paper, and I thought that my son had gotten toilet paper at the store, but I thought it was still in the car. And I haven't even been inside of my own car in 3 weeks now. So I don't even know what's inside of it. So I took the fob and went down there, and I realized that I can't even open and close the trunk of my car. I have like a hatch thing, but it's not an automatic button. So in order for me to like get into my trunk, I have to reach pretty high, and I can't reach above like here. So I'm like, how am I supposed to drive? Like, what if God forbid something happened and my trunk, like the latch came undone and I couldn't shut it? You know, like these little things that you don't think about. So she got it, and then her hands were full, and I'm like, I want to shut the trunk for you, but I can't. So she shut the hatch and brought it up for me. And one was a big thing of paper plates, which again, I know are not environmentally friendly, but I can't deal with the physical part of loading and unloading a dishwasher, nor washing dishes by hand. So I've been using a lot of paper plates. I've upgraded to like the Chinette kind of plates, because the other ones get, well, perfect example. Ugh. It's my son's birthday cake that I'm eating a piece of, which is actually a pretty big piece. I might only have half of that, but the bowls fold. And this is like a, you know, a wax coated one, but they fold. So if you're gonna have like cereal or something, or like oatmeal is a great example, you put it in the microwave, which makes it even more mushy, and you go pick it up and it starts to bend, and then all of a sudden things start flowing out the sides, and that is a big piece of cake. I don't think I can eat all that. Oh, whatever. Anyway, so more durable bowls are a good thing to have, like Chinettes or something. But like today, for example, you know, I guess it's Sunday, more people are around. Planning for the week coming up as to what's happening, looking at all my appointments to make sure that I have rides or people going with me or whatever. And I do have a Sign Up Genius where people are helping with groceries. And I guess when the whole thing started, before school started, I said, for whatever reason, like Wednesday was the day that was picked. There was a reason behind that I can't remember. But with school, I'm like, does it make sense to go grocery shopping on a Wednesday? I really need that day to be like on a Sunday, so that like he's all set for school for the week. And like I'm all set for meals for the week. So while someone signed up, I hadn't heard from that person. So I think someone else just randomly reached out and asked if I needed anything. And I said, I need a grocery run, even though that's a big production to ask of someone. And I know there's Instacart, but with Instacart, you have to ask within a certain, like if you want delivered, you can't just like do it that day. It's usually all booked up. So you have to like usually do it a day in advance, or at least like, I don't know, 10 hours or so in advance, so that there's a slot open for them to do it. And on a Sunday, that's very hard to come across. So anyway, yeah, my friend ended up doing some grocery shopping for me. I didn't give her the full list because I thought it was a lot, and I only gave her like the bare essentials that we really needed to get my son through with like school lunches for the week. And then I'm like, I don't know how to thank her. Like, I have gift cards that people gave me for grocery stores, but like if it's not a grocery store that they shop at, it's kind of pointless to have it. And I'm like, I don't know how to thank them. And when this whole thing started, outside my door is a cooler so people can put stuff in there and I don't have to rush out, whether it's hot or cold. It'll, you know, keep temperature until I can, you know, get the energy up to go to the door. But then next to it, I guess it's the teacher in me, I don't know. Next to it, I have a pile of hands. They're paper, they're like poster boardish hand cutouts. And I put Sharpies out there. Laura had sent me the hands. And then some people were writing notes on the hands, like helping hands, you know, that just say like, go Jen, or thinking of you, or whatever. So I left the hands out there because it's a nice, in case you do drop off, if you're watching this and you're one of the people that drop off stuff to me, that's why those hands are there. There's a Sharpie to like write a message on there, and I bring them in, and it just, you know, reminds me that I'm not on my own with all this stuff. And then I have, like, you know, when you go to the dentist and you get a sticker at the end because you did a good job, I have a prize box that's next to the cooler. And it says, like, you know, drop off the stuff in the cooler and please take something from the prize box. Because I want people to know, it's late in the day, so I'm starting to get those pains again. I want people to know that, like, they get a treat for doing something kind. And what I'm getting, like, as I look in there to, like, restock, but I don't think most people have not been taking anything from there. And at first I'm like, well, why aren't they taking the stuff? Like, there's some nice stuff in there. There's like clay masks in there, and there's a bracelet that someone got for me that, like, I have a bunch of bracelets, but like somebody else might really like it. It's a really pretty crystal bracelet. And, I don't know, just other stuff that I have in there that like just wasn't opened. And I'm like, I think someone else might like it. So I put this on, it's used stuff, it's all brand new, but I put them in the box, and then like no one's been touching them. And I'm like, I want people to take them. Like, I want people to get a treat for doing something nice. And then even if I have like a gift card to like Wegmans, which unfortunately I found out, if you order through Instacart, you can't use a Wegmans gift card. You can only use a Wegmans gift card inside of Wegmans. So unless someone's going to Wegmans and comes here first, you know, I can't use those Wegmans gift cards for Instacart. But I'll throw the gift card inside of the cooler and be like, just, you know, take it, and next time you go, at least you'll have it. And it's interesting because, like, I know a lot of people in my past that think that the way to your heart is through money. And, you know, like, buy her this and that will make her happy, and do this for her and that will make her happy. It's not about money. And here I am doing the same thing where I don't know how to give back and say thank you. I don't know how to get the point across as to how incredibly grateful I am, because I'd be screwed without these people that are there to give me rides and to just listen to me. Unfortunately, I can't do a lot of hugging because of COVID. You know, to cut me cake when I shouldn't be eating cake. It's my son's birthday cake, for Pete's sake, but he said I could have some. You know, I don't know how to say thank you to everyone. And especially the people I don't know well. Like, I wish that they could get to know me better in a faster way to get how totally appreciative I am. And like, I have thank you cards that I have thank you cards. I was gonna write notes, but it physically hurts for me to write right now. It hurts for me to type, which is why I've been using voice memos so much on my phone. And plus the thank you notes are like up inside my secretary, which is too high for me to reach. So I've just been like texting and voice memoing to say thank you, because it's the best I can do right now, and I just feel like it's not enough. And people are then saying, you know, like for me, like, don't be hard on myself for not giving thanks in a way I normally would. And I don't really see it as me like being hard on myself. I see it more just like I don't know how to have my thanks portrayed clearly enough to all the people that have been doing so much for me. You know, they say it takes a village, and it's cliche, and it's true, and the village isn't always who you think it's going to be. You know, what was that? You can pick your friends, you can pick your nose, but you can't pick your friends' noses or whatever. But some people that are stepping up are not people that I even know. They're people like, you know, connected to other people that I know, but they want to help. And what I hear back a lot is, well, if something happened to me, I know you'd be there. And that's true, I would be. But I guess, like, you know, I guess if anything, a lot of the people that are stepping up have a lot on their plates as it is. And I think that that's why those people are stepping up. Because they get it. They get what it's like to have shit handed to you on a plate that you didn't order. And my one friend in particular, like, she's done so much for me, and her husband's awesome, and like the two of them are just like, such a great couple and a great family. And you know, I said, I don't know how to thank you. Like, what can I do? How could I show you? I don't know how. And like, I'm almost 50, and it's crazy that I'm still learning about unconditional love, that I don't have to give something back. I don't have to give back a clay mask because you went grocery shopping for me. It's not a trade-off. It's one of the biggest things I heard early on in this. You know, you're not keeping score. And I think with a lot of relationships I've had in the past, it was about keeping score. I do this and you do that, and you do this and I do that. And if you do this 3 times, I do this 3 times, whatever. I mean, obviously I'm single now, so clearly that wasn't the best way to go. And I think as a person, like, when you are handed shit, you evolve so much. And I guess I have to say, like, I have the team of people helping me are the most evolved people I know. And maybe that's why they're on my team. Team evolution. I don't know. That sounds so anti-religious. But when you've gone through stuff, whether it's like just personal things or health things or taking care of other people things, you just get it. And it's not like the people that have really stepped up are like, have faced cancer before. Some have, that's true. I have several people that have gone through breast cancer treatments that have helped me tremendously, where before this happened, I didn't really like know them that well. And it's not just, I mean, some, yes, it's money. Some, you know, some send gift cards and some buy me things, you know, which is great. And some just give me words to help, you know, have you tried this, or why don't we do this, or whatever. Just, it's not just one way of being. But it's just so weird. Like, you know, as much as I could say, like, I'm single, I'm like, but I've always had like a great group of friends since I was a kid. Like, I've always had a great group of friends around me. I'm still very good friends with people that I went to high school with, some that I've known since like elementary school. And I treasure that very much. And it's so amazing to see like people even friends with, you know, what's that, like 40 years. Like, to be friends with someone for like 40 years is pretty amazing. I have some people I've been friends with since kindergarten. I mean, that's 45 years. That's crazy. And it's just amazing to see how people flourish and what they become when they grow up, and what they become, and then they become something else when they grow up. And it's just amazing. And like, I know that I give a ton to like my town, for example. Mostly, I didn't really get the value of volunteering until I was a stay-at-home mom. Like, when I lived in New York, I mean, I was working, I always worked. It's from, I don't know, babysitting on, I was always working. When I had my kids, I took, I think I took a year off with my younger or older one, something like that. And my younger one, I was hoping to be a stay-at-home mom, but just wasn't in the cards financially for us. So I went back to work, and that was like really hard. He was just such an easy baby. I'm like, I don't want to go back to work, but I had to go back to work. And then when we moved to, well, there were other circumstances that were going on, because I was home for a year or so, maybe 2, taking care of a family member that was not doing well. And I took a leave from work for that, after my maternity leave, which was unexpected. So I had that time of being like, that's when I entered the world of like, you know, the stay-at-home mom, the play group kind of thing. I mean, my son was in preschool at that point, but I was room parent with another woman, and we became like really, really good friends. And she also actually is a breast cancer survivor. She's, I think, the first person I knew that had breast cancer. And I wear a necklace a lot. I don't have it on now because I don't wear a necklace a lot anymore, but she got me a necklace, something about friendship, when I was moving away from New York. And that was hard because I had a great group of friends, such a great group of friends. In my younger son's grade, when I was moving, he was in kindergarten when we moved. Yeah, like the kids got along, the parents got along. We would hang, you know, the kids would hang out with play dates, and the moms would do their own little get-togethers. It was like so perfect. And then we got up and moved to Massachusetts. And then I was a stay-at-home mom for 4 years, something like that. I think 4 years. I'll give you my whole bio, but anyway, the point is, it was at that point when my son was in preschool where I learned about volunteering and giving back. And I remember there was a woman that lived up the street from me who was a stay-at-home mom, and I just didn't know that world at all. And she said, you know, I'm so busy because I volunteer for all these things. And I'm like, why would someone want to volunteer so much of their time and not get paid for it? Like, why on earth would you want to do anything and not get paid for it, you know? At the time, like, I had to work out of necessity for like living. I needed to work. But then when we were in a position where I didn't need to do that, and I started getting involved for my kids, you know, to be around them, it like opened up a whole new world of understanding for me as to the great like empowerment of giving back. And most of that for me was through the schools. Like, I was a teacher, that was my training, and it was just natural for me to give back in just a different way. We moved here, and I found like that was my way of giving back to the schools for all that the schools has done for my kids. And I had done that until about a year ago. Nothing to do with this whatsoever. It was just, you know, my kids are getting older and it's time to switch gears about what to focus on. I was focusing on my show and stuff. So, you know, just kind of ran out of time. And even my show, Neighbors to Know, like, I don't get paid for that. People think that's my job. That's not my job. I'm an administrator. I do spreadsheets and QuickBooks and payroll. I don't do production for my job at all. I anchored the news and people thought that was my job. That was never my job. I volunteered for that. I volunteer for Neighbors to Know that I don't get paid for any of that. And they're like, well, why would you do it if you don't get paid? And I'm like, doing Neighbors to Know helped me realize why I'm here on this earth. Like, that's priceless to me. It helped me understand life in just such a different way, and how to pull together my own best traits, and finding these human beings that are just tremendous human beings and sharing their stories with people. And what's ironic is that a few people have told me that they did not want to be guests on my show, and at first I took it personally, like, well, why not? What did I do? And I know their stories now, and I understand now why they're so private about their stories. And the whole point of the show is, like, it's not about exploiting anybody at all. Like, if you want to share your story, then great. And if you don't, all of those people that said they didn't want to be on the show, but they do these tremendous things under the radar to help other people. And that's the whole point of my show. And they don't need to have some, like, moment of their 30 minutes of fame from, being filmed. They just do it anyway. And I'm getting, like, I get that as a volunteer. And I didn't volunteer till I was, what, like 35 or something? And now at almost the age of 50, I'm getting that with friendship. I think it's less so when you're younger and have friends. I didn't think of it that way. Like, what did I have to give back? It wasn't like that. I was always the fun friend. So I'm like, if we're hanging out together, it's because we enjoy spending time with each other and we have fun. If you don't want to hang out, it means you don't have fun. Okay, move on, whatever. But as an adult, I find it different. It's like when people step up to help my kids, what can I do to give back? Well, the schools, that's easy to give back. But when it comes to friends, and as I'm going through all this now, and it's like, what can I do to give back? And they're like, Jen, you don't have to do anything. Like, they know that I will be there for whatever. And I love now, even today, where I'm honest about, like, I don't lie about stuff. I don't tiptoe about stuff. I'm not crass or mean. But if I have a question or if I'm not sure, I'll just say it. So I said today, like, I want to say thank you. I'm like, I said, I don't know how to thank you. And I don't mean that in a cliche way. Like, I don't know what to do. 'Cause saying thank you is just words. Like, actions so speak louder than words. Like, what action can I take to help you, to thank you? Even though right now my actions, like, my arms hurt so bad the past 2 days and my meds are wearing off and my chest is hurting again. I can't really take many actions right now, like physical actions. But I'm like, what can I do? And I know the answer to that is just be a friend back. Check in on them too. And right now I'm not at my peak performance of friendship and that I'm asking for a lot, but I can't even keep, some of my friends have had their own surgeries going on and I want to ask them, and I'm like, I forget because I'm just so scatterbrained with everything that's going on. But they don't get upset about that. They understand because they're in the same boat where they forget because they have so much stuff that's going on. So as sucky as this whole thing has been, like overall, like just to get the diagnosis and all that stuff, it's amazing what I'm learning about so many different things. And today that focuses on friendship. And then it's really not a give and take. It's really just a give and give. Like, you just give of yourself. And that's what makes you a true friend. And if you don't know how to be a true friend, you know, you ask. You know, that's what I said. I'm like, please tell me, like, the best question ever, what can I do to help you? What can I do to support you? Because I don't know. And even people that are like, can I go grocery shopping for you? And it's like, well, someone already did that. But I'm like, what else do I need? What else do I need? What else can I use help, you know, get help with? And like, I have to have stuff returned on Amazon that I had ordered that don't fit. So I need to reach out and ask for people to do that. It's, you know, it's little things, but they're big things. Like, like Barb was here doing a whole bunch of stuff and she had to go home to feed her family. I'm like, but you know what? It's Sunday. It's been a really long week for me. And I'm like, I just want a piece of cake. So my head was really bothering me earlier. I don't know why my nose is already itchy. I had a really bad headache like an hour ago, and she made me some tea because the caffeine helps my headache go away, or my headaches go away. But I'm like, I really want a piece of cake. And she rolled her eyes, and I don't think she meant it meanly. I'm sure she meant it like just half joking. But I really wanted a piece of cake. And if she had left and I hadn't asked for her to do that, and I went up and did it myself, and then I know, because the cake is pretty like thick and rich, that it would be hard for me to get a knife through it because I've cut this cake before. And then my arms would be hurting for an hour. And if I complained about it, she'd be like, well, why didn't you just ask me to cut you the cake when I was there? So I asked her to cut me the piece of cake while she was here. Because the worst that happens is they say no. Or like, you know, whatever. She wouldn't have said no, but whatever. So I don't know what like great words of wisdom I have other than what I already did about friendship, but it pops up in weird places, like, I don't know. Like I've met such a variety of people over the years, and especially over the past few years. And it's just, it's such a ride. It's such a roller coaster ride. Like, you know, you sit in the roller coaster and you got one seat next to you, and that actually really hurt my armpit. And like someone sits next to you, and, you know, you either have a really great time on that roller coaster ride and they get off. And if things went well, yeah, sure, exchange numbers. And if they didn't, like, wait for the next person to come in. And it's like, who are you going to, you know, who's had an impact on you, I guess, from that roller coaster ride that, that you want to, like, make sure that you keep them around to have more roller coaster rides with. I don't know. I don't have any advice on this one. It's just something that I'm noticing that, like, I don't think there's a stop as to when you finish learning things about relationships. And I don't mean romantic. I'm just talking about friendship. Although I guess that would expand to relationships, like romantic relationships too, because you can't really have a romantic relationship if you're not friends with the person. I mean, I guess you can, but like I would prefer to be friends with the person and then, you know, have the romantic part stuff too. Yeah, but it's so endearing. I don't know if that's the right word. That after all these years of existing, that you still learn these kind of life lessons. That it's not, you know, you don't have to give someone a gift card because they go grocery shopping for you. I mean, the number of times I've texted someone thank you or said thank you is just so much, and they're just words. And I know that eventually when I get back to being me, I mean, you know, being like me, up and active and the normal Jen, I'll be able to give back in the way that I normally do, and totally not out of obligation, out of friendship, because that's what friends do. And it's not a game, and it's not something to tally. It's just, that's what friends do. And I'm just extraordinarily thankful to every one of you watching out there who's been a friend for me, like ever. And especially right now, when there's so much I can't do for myself. You know, when you can't really use your arms, it's devastating. And like all of you out there that are helping me are my arms right now. And it means so much to my heart. As much as I hate looking at that green little circle, as I'm staring at it, it looks almost like a star. Like a planet. It's like my planet of friends that are out there that are doing all this stuff to help me. Just know that, like, whatever you need, once I'm able to get out and do stuff, like, I am there. Just ask me and I will reach out. I've never felt so committed to a bunch of human beings ever, except for my kids, but that's different. Like, that's what friendship is. You're just there. And I'm so grateful for the people that have been there for me. So thank you. I'm going to go eat my cake now and have my tea and finish watching movies. All right, so this week, tomorrow, I get my roots done, so I don't have my little gray line there. I'm doing that because on Tuesday, I go to the oncologist for the first time, and I'm kind of mentally preparing myself for whatever it is that she might have to say to me. And whatever the next step is of this process is what it is. I'll find out on Tuesday, but you guys won't all know until I talk to my kids about it. And whatever it is, we'll see. And there's probably other stuff going on I can't think of, but right now I'm happy to get my hair done, and I'm curious but ready to see what happens on Tuesday. All right. Be a good friend today. If there's something I can leave you with today, is think of a friend today. You know, how can you give back in some way? Not because you're obligated to, not because you have to, because you're a friend. And how can you give to a friend today? That's what I would encourage you to do. And be grateful for people out there that have your back. Even when you think it's no one, it's never no one. There's somebody out there that has your back. All right, before I get all mushy, I'm gonna go now. See you next time.